guys, welcome back. I wanted to continue on with my sort of organizational videos. I decided that I was going to do a few videos and create kind of a series where I show you how I organize my traveling office. I work kind of on the go from a few different locations typically, and so I really need to be able to transport everything that I could possibly need during the day with me at all times. So I have very specific ways of not only making that happen, but also making it easy for me to not have to utilize all of it all of the time. And so I have, a comprehensive system that handles everything and transports everything for me, but I have it broken down in ways that I can just, grab what I need and go. I don't necessarily need everything all the time, but I do need access to it because I never know when I am going to need it. So I already showed you guys kind of the meat and potatoes of the way I use color and make it a little bit fun. And so now I'm going to break down all of the exact steps on exactly how I organize each portion of my life and my work. Today, I think I'm probably going to start to get into how I use calendars. And so the first thing I want to tell you is that the main calendar that I use is the calendar that is on my cell phone, because I always have my cell phone with me, and that actually has an alarm system on it that signals me when it's time to change gears and do something else. So I use that kind of as my main calendar that keeps track of where I need to be when I need to be somewhere at specific times, or doing something at a specific time. So if I have an appointment somewhere, that will go into the calendar on my phone with an alarm set that will go off and tell me that it's time to shut down whatever I'm doing and head out the door. And I always set the alarm in enough time for me to do that and get where I need to be, in plenty of time. So if it's an appointment or a meeting, or there's something that I need to do at a specific time, like maybe a web conference, or a live broadcast, or if I just need to stop doing something and start doing something else. That's what that is for, because there's an alarm on it, and so it alerts me that, hey, it's time to do this. And so if you're an organizational buff and you're not using the calendar on your phone, which you have with you all the time, then shame on you. I'm just kidding, but that's a very efficient way to get your attention and get your brain clicking into a different gear. I've seen people that say, "Gosh, I always forget. I thought that was, next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, and I missed it." Well, and they're typing that on their cell phone onto Facebook. There's no excuse to have. Don't put pressure on yourself, I guess is what I want to say, to try to memorize everything when you have the tools with you all the time, 24/7, and you're using them all the time, 24/7, that could be handling that for you. I put those in my phone because they will stay in my phone, and I don't need to be constantly going through my head, what time is it? Where do I need to be? What do I need to do? And what am I forgetting? How many appointments do I have today? I don't need to do all of that because it's just in there. I can focus on whatever I need to get done, and that's it. So if you aren't using your calendars that are in your phone, particularly for appointments and things, or even just as an alert to signal you, even if you're thinking, okay, I only have 1 hour to work on this task, and then I need to switch something else to something else, well, don't spend the whole hour continually looking at the clock to see how much time you have left, because you're not giving your full focus to whatever that task is. And you're not going to do it as well as you should. You're not going to get as much done as you should. Use the alerts on your phone, which you have with you. Set the alarm clock or set an appointment for an hour from now, and then just focus on your work. And when it goes off, and that means it's time to be done. So that's kind of my main calendar that I use for those types of things. And so now I'm just going to kind of get into my traveling office and sort of start to show you some of the things that are in there. And again, this is going to be a series, so I'm going to probably go for about 10 minutes-ish, give or take, and whatever we can get in this amount of time is what I will do this time, and then I will pick up where I left off in a future video. So the first thing is that I do carry a lot of kind of small little notebooks with me, and they all kind of have a different purpose. And some of you may think, gosh, that's a lot of, it's a lot of different things. Isn't it easier to have it all in one place? For me, no, it's not, because if I have it all in one place, I'm going to need a, binder like this big, and I will have to lug that thing around with me everywhere I go, no matter whether I need it or not, just because I need it for one little thing. By breaking it down into these smaller kind of organizational products, I still have it with me all the time because it's in my duffel bag, it's in my tote bag, so it's with me. But if I just need to run into a meeting that just has to do with something I'm doing for my blog, I don't need all the stuff for videos and all the stuff for Avon and all the stuff for, I just grab the little notebook that I need for my blog and I go in, and I seem a lot more organized when I walk in the room than if I'm, carrying this huge, binder with stuff all over the place and a million notes and, whatever else. So this works for me. However you do it is perfect for you. So I have a few of these little kind of notebook things that I have in there. This first, they're all specific. I use them for specific things. This first one is for kind of like a specific project I'm working on, which I'm not really going to, tell you guys about. It's just something that I keep with me sort of all the time, and I jot things into it that are specific to this kind of long-term project. So it's just always with me, and I just grab it when I need it. Then I have a couple of these in there. These were given to me in like a huge multi-pack that had like 5 or 7 or 27 or something. I'm sure it was from someplace like Sam's Club. It was given to me as a gift. So I have a couple of these in here. This one I have specifically written on it blog notes. This is one where if I am writing a specific blog post and I kind of need to jot down a list, maybe a list of products or a checklist of things I need to make sure I do in that blog post or what have you, then I use this notebook to jot it down in. And you'll see that I have, done some things and scratched them off as I went along. And, I just use the paper. I keep it for as long as I need it. When I'm done with it, I'm done with it. When I'm done using this page, I'll just rip it out and throw it away. So this is handy for me just to kind of pull out and sit next to me when I'm working on the blog, or if I have some ideas that I need to jot down, I might jot them down in here, or like I said, if I have a list that I need to remember, like a specific list of products, or some specific things I need to mention about a certain product, or what have you, I can jot that kind of bullet point list down in here, and then when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. And then I just have an extra one, and this one isn't necessarily for anything specific. I do keep a few lists in here, like I have a list of some of the websites that I use quite a bit, just because sometimes I forget and I won't give one or another enough love because I just kind of have sort of forgotten about it. So I keep this in there, and then this is just kind of a miscellaneous. If I happen to need a piece of scrap paper, I have this one in there. If somebody else in a meeting with me or something says, hey, do you have any paper I can use? I can rip a piece out of here. And so this one is just kind of extra. It's not for anything specific, but it's just handy to have it, just in case. And now I'm moving into my calendars. And I make use of free calendars. People will give you little calendars, like little purse style calendars and that kind of stuff, as little gifts, or sometimes businesses will give them to you. I make use of those because it saves me some time. I don't, like I said, I don't need a big planner, or I don't necessarily want a big planner, or it isn't necessarily efficient enough for me these days, or inspiring enough for me these days, because I like color. The color stimulates me. Doing these things stimulate me to keep doing more. It makes it a little bit fun, and it satisfies my logical brain where I have things that I need to get done and I need to make sure I get everything done, so I'm checking them all off. But it also satisfies my creative side where I love color and I love kind of making things a little bit more fun and a little less humdrum and a little less stressful. And so it does both those things for me. So I have a couple calendars here that have been given to me for different, different reasons. One of them was probably one of those calendars that comes free in the mail, and somebody got one of these that wouldn't use it, and so they gave it to me. And then another one that a business gave to me. So this first one I'm going to show you is how I organize my videos. This is how I keep track of videos that I need to post. And the first thing I'm going to show you here, and you guys will remember seeing this from my little, the little makeup bag, is it has one of those paper clips on it because, you know, I'm in February of 2014, and so, you know, I don't need December of 2013 or January of 2014, or, you know, I don't need access to these previous months so much anymore, so I have it clipped off so I can just open to exactly where I need to be. And then this is color coded. You'll see, if you remember, I told you that green pen that I use specifically for my blog, so anything I see written in green I know has to do, not for my blog, for my videos. Anything I see written in green I know has specifically to do with my videos. If I see any other colors on here, I know that's kind of an alert that it's about something else. And so just at a glance, very quickly, I can get kind of a comprehensive view of what's going on in just a split second versus having to read every single thing that's written in the calendar. Now this calendar is the one that I keep the majority of my information on, versus the other calendar that I'll show you in a minute. And I actually have a third calendar, which probably you will see towards the very end, because videos take more time for me than my blog in a lot of cases, because filming takes a long time, setup takes a long time, planning takes a long time, editing takes a long time, uploading takes a long time, and then filling in the description and all that kind of stuff takes a long time. So videos take more time for me than anything else, and so that's kind of where my main focus is, because that's where I need to be the most organized the majority of the time. And that's typically what I tackle first. And so I film in a week in advance, so I write in here exactly what video is supposed to go up on what day. And so a week ahead of that, I know what I need to be, you know, today I can look a week from now and know exactly what video I need to be filming today, which is the one I'm filming right now, right? And sometimes I will jot down little notes in here, and sometimes I color code them, like, you know, here I have to change my background. That's because I need to change my background from, you know, Valentine's Day, sort of pinky, Heart Health Month, etc., over to, you know, things that have to do with March, so St. Patrick's Day and, you know, spring and that kind of thing. So I have specific notes for that. I have some notes for some potential videos that I might want to do that that are like for next year, just for me to kind of think about and, you know, put in a calendar whenever I feel is necessary. I keep track of things like bills that I need to pay on here, mainly just because this is the first calendar that I look at, and so I will see it sooner rather than later, and I keep track of it, or I stay on top of it better that way. I also have a few like tasks that I just need to remember, like on Sundays and Wednesdays I need to make sure that I take the trash out, because that's when the trash, you know, guy comes. And so I just actually have that written in here, because that's something I do tend to forget, and I'll just see it right away and be like, oh yes, today is trash day, and that way I make sure I get it done. I also keep track of my period in here, and symptoms of my period or of other issues that I'm having. Those are kind of in pink, so I can keep them separate in my mind if I'm doing a quick scan of the calendar. And, you know, the trash is written in like either black or blue, so, you know, it quickly grabs my attention. I have holidays circled, you know, so I know when holidays are coming. And I just have a lot of little kind of symbols and things that I keep in here. And I do cross the days off as I go so that I can quickly scan and see what's left. And that's just how I work this calendar. And, you know, when I finish one thing, I will transfer it kind of down to the next month. So as soon as I hit the first day where I needed to take out the trash, I went ahead for next month and wrote in all the trash days for next month. And I've already circled, you know, some of the holidays, and, you know, even put in some videos that need to go up and that kind of thing, because they're specific for this month. So that's how I kind of keep my videos organized. And, you know, there's enough space in this that I can jot down little notes and keep track of little things. But this is also small enough that I can just grab it and go if this is all that I need for, you know, a half an hour. So we have that, and then the other calendar I'm going to show you is the one that I use for my blog, and it's just a little free calendar that was given to me, and again I have this little paper clip on there. I'm using it the same way that I was in the other calendar, just to kind of hold my month together. And when I write about my blog I write about in pink. No matter where I'm writing, I write in pink. So videos I write in green, in that specific green pen. My blog I write in the specific pink gel pen. And no matter where I'm writing, whether it's in a notebook or anything else, I see that pen and I automatically know that it's in reference to a specific task. And it just makes it easy for me to just glance at something in a millisecond and know exactly what I have coming up without having to read every detail. So the same thing with this. I don't use this one. I don't keep track of my period and all that kind of stuff in this one because this is my secondary calendar. I only keep track of blog posts. And, blog posts for the most part I do in advance, a week in advance as well, sometimes more, but generally a week in advance. And I just kind of cross the days off, as I go. I have holidays circled here in a different color just to kind of, keep me, as I'm coming up with blog ideas and I'm writing down what blog I want to do. It also just gives me a quick glance to keep in mind the holidays are coming up in case I want to do or need to or should come up with a blog post that is specific to, the holiday that's coming. So these are kind of my main calendars that follow immediately after my cell phone, the calendar on my cell phone. I do have another calendar that I will use, but just based on the amount of time that we've used up already, I'm just going to keep going with this in bits, like I said. And so that's kind of a tertiary calendar that I use, and so I will show that to you coming up in a future video. So if you have any questions about how I use just what you've seen here, or if you are not quite sure, like referencing these or the pins, then I will link the video where I talked about those down in the information bar so you can go back and watch that as well. But anyway, if you have any questions about how I keep any of these things organized, then feel free to comment down below. And I'm also curious, just tell me how you keep your things organized. If you want to just comment below, you can. Or if you've already got videos, up or that kind of thing, just let me know that you have them and I'll go check those out as well. But I like to hear how other people kind of keep themselves organized, especially at a glance, and especially when they sort of need everything with them all the time, but don't want to have to be using everything all the time, if you know what I mean. Alright, and that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.